What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Lesser Athletes. My name is Chadwell, and today, like always, an interesting video for you here on the channel. Today is me ranking the last 5 US title holders. Now, here's the thing. It is a men's and a women's, and the women's, you already know, don't have 5. So today, I'm not including Ilya Dragunov. I'm going to look at the past 5 US title holders. I need to go back into find my sheet on, reigns and defenses and everything, but the U.S. title out of all titles, and the reason why I started with this title, has truthfully not been great. I really hope the U.S. title isn't cursed, but on both sides, the U.S. title has not been good. You will hear why in a little bit, but we are going to rank the last 5 U.S. title holders starting now. Let's start out with the worst women's championship reign for the U.S. title, and it is sadly Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega, got put into a weird type of, I feel like not accidental feud, but it was a feud that was an accidental, I think, push to the championship in the wrong way. I think maybe their whole goal was to give her a U.S. title gold, but not having her on Mania, not having her win accidental matches did not help her, and I think Zelina Vega is not the best at that. We also look at title defenses. I think that's a big thing. 2 title defenses in, I'm trying to see the days, 40 something days. I think 40. I wonder, let me see if I can have actually right here. In 63 days. In 63 days, 2 defenses. One was a rematch at Saturday night's main event, which, to be fair, kind of, it wasn't an insane match. It was kind of lackluster a little bit, didn't feel as great, and yeah, very shocking about this U.S. title match, and wasn't good. And then the next time she'll have it was SmackDown before Crown Jewel. No, Nia Champions. Sorry, I don't know why I said Crown Jewel. Nia Champions, and Julia would win it. So to say that this reign was a little bit underwhelming is probably not doing it justice, but it's not right because it was very, very underwhelming. The change was needed, but it was after seeing some other title reigns, Julia, I've been considering like a horrible reign right now as U.S. champion. Hasn't been as bad as it could get. Don't get me wrong, this is still a very bad reign in my opinion. Holding it, I think, now for 115 days, if that's what I'm remembering. And Julia, in my opinion, is a good enough person to continue to be great as champion. They just have not put her in the great feuds, and having her on SmackDown with no change up has not been good. But to be honest, she's had 2 title defenses and she's kept the title, so at least there's going to be another one. She's went back against Zelina Vega, beat her in there, and went against Michin even. What they should be having for Julia is Julia going out throughout the roster, I wouldn't say week by week, maybe every other week, and having a match and destroying talent. That's how you build Julia to become a top star in the future, but just as for now, hasn't been doing that, and that's a big problem with WWE right now. So Julia is second here, but it's not like a good second. Not good at all. I did not realize how good Chelsea Green's reign was. I thought she was okay as a U.S. champion, but it wasn't like great. But now looking at it, compared to others, not as bad as you would think. I think they kind of fumbled it once Mania season came around, which I think you're going to realize in the video. Once Mania season comes around, it can really mess up some things for champions. But we have her being the inaugural U.S. champion, which was really good, and then having a 3-match feud with Michin where she beats her in the first one, Michin then beats her in the second one due to DQ, doesn't lose the title, and then they ultimately have a street fight to win it. And Chelsea win, not, I guess, Michin to win it. So I think that's really good. And I think it was something that was good for television and made a lot of sense. And I think Chelsea Green, honestly, it works out well. And I think that is something that I did not expect to say for Chelsea Green. She also defended against Sol Ruca in NXT and then ultimately, would lose it. But compared to Zelina Vega, how Julia's going, I would choose Chelsea Green reigns for sure. And this is our best women's U.S. title holder ever because technically there's only 3. I think you're going to realize till maybe number 2, and even then not great. This U.S. title has not been booked well at all, and maybe it's just defenses in general for a lot of things, but it has not been booked well. Shinsuke Nakamura sadly gets the butt end of the stick, and I think it's also because of personal reasons why he wasn't on television booking a lot of stuff and being on just television in general. U.S. title reigns in the past 5 holders, Shinsuke's the worst one, sadly. Obviously, a shock of a win at Survivor Series. Wins the title, which was great to see and felt really nice to see. A shock of a win. But then we get him to have a rematch against LA Knight, and it's a DQ, and LA Knight wins. And then he loses the title. So definitely not a good reign from Shinsuke Nakamura, but I think there's also subpar ones in here, and I do believe that it was mostly because of WrestleMania. Speaking of another horrible reign because of Mania, we have LA Knight. I'm giving LA Knight the edge on Shinsuke Nakamura because at least he had like a storyline aspect that was going into Mania where you had, Fatu, of course, being there. You had Braun Strowman in the mix. But to be completely honest with you, still not great. He was indeed a transitional champion. I mean, I think he had the title for 40, 50 days-ish. So it was definitely somebody that was trying to hold the belt so that they can kind of put over someone in Jacob Fatu. And it worked out well. It's just, again, I can't act like it wasn't a not so good reign, but it was because of Mania. You had him winning the belt back before Mania. You then have him going out and having a match with Braun Strowman in a no contest to set up a Jacob Fatu Braun Strowman match, and then ultimately Jacob Fatu would get the number 1 contender to go against LA Knight. Again, in my opinion, worked out well. I think it makes sense for Jacob Fatu, but not so good for the actual reign. To be completely honest with you, I thought going into this, okay, so Sikoa easily bottom 2 of the top 5 ranking. But to be completely honest with you, looking at his track record, ignoring him getting pinned in every other situation, Solo Sikoa didn't have that bad of a reign compared to others. Like, if you want to, you could try to convince me to put him as number 2 on this list, and if there's a compelling argument, I might go into it. He had 3 defenses with the titles in 60 days, so not terrible at all. He had a Jimmy Uso title reign, he had a title defense, he had Jacob Fatu, and then of course we all know the Sami Zayn one, which was honestly looking back a good reset. Yet he did, as US champion, lose 2 times to Sami Zayn, getting pinned in different other matches. It is very apparent to me that, to be honest with you, Solo Sikoa was immediately booked to lose that title, and very interesting in that case scenario to lose that title. But I really do believe that compared to others, wasn't terrible. At the very end, he was doing really good stuff with the title. It really does suck that Sami Zayn kind of swooped in and to steal the title, but looking back, I'm kind of happy about it. I did not realize that in 2 days, or in 70 days, Jacob Fatu had 2 reigns. There you go. Jacob Fatu, I think, could be considered as number 3 and Solo Sikoa would be number 2, which is very shocking to say, which means technically the U.S. title has consistently gotten better. Again, I have to just be honest with you here. The reason why I have this Jacob Fatu here is because Solo's title reign at the very end and how he won those matches weren't good. Maybe other than Jimmy Uso, which still I even kind of look at and I go, still not good. He lost in horrible ways, like not good ways at all. So here we have Jacob Fatu with an insane match against LA Knight to win the title. Then we have a really good fatal 4-way, which I think that's the reason why I keep wanting to build him up, because he was like the guy for SmackDown for a quick second, which I thought was going to be longer, but it was a quick second. And then he ultimately lost to Solo Sikoa in a pretty decent match, but again, you can convince me at putting him 3. We all thought Jacob Fatu was going to have an insane run as U.S. title. Didn't happen. And now because of dental surgery, it looks like we're going to have Jacob Fatu be out for a little bit of 2026. We'll see what happens. But I am just a little shocked that looking back at this, Jacob Fatu reign, yes, number 2, not good. This whole U.S. title scene, like I said at the beginning of this video, hasn't been great. I think, crazy enough, the only one that is undisputed and should be considered great is Sami Zayn's US title reign. I am shocked, absolutely shocked to say that Sami Zayn's title reign was by far the best we've had so far in a only like 48-day reign, I think 49, something like that. Sami Zayn beating Solo Sikoa was a huge shock for all of us. We all did not expect that to happen. I think Sami Zayn winning was shocking with how they were booking him, but to be completely honest with you, a nice little surprise to continue and freshen things up. And then the U.S. Open Challenge, which ultimately I believe in my heart was the best thing they could have done with that U.S. title and for Sami Zayn. The best thing they could have done by far was to make Sami Zayn a fighting champion, fight every week, and to just have the fans behind him and really get excited for this Open Challenge. I'm very happy that it happened. I hope Ilya has somewhat of a every 2 weeks a title defense kind of thing. I don't know if we'll actually get that. But just to list off some of the names. He went against Cena, Rey Fenix, Carmelo Hayes, Javon Evans, Aleister Black, Shinsuke Nakamura, and then, of course, Ilya Dragunov. I really do mean this. Sami Zayn put over Ilya Dragunov in the biggest way he could with him returning. And I really do believe that was probably the best way for Ilya Dragunov to return because he has so much momentum now. Thank you, Sami Zayn, for that. But Sami Zayn, by far, best U.S. title holder, and it's undoubtedly the case. And maybe it's because of the Open Challenge thing where you got to see him fight every week. But my God, if I just named all of those title defenses, those 6 title defenses, and was it 6? No, there was 7. There was 7. I'm not going to do it. And he was by far the best. My God. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.